everybody. You're listening to Procure Smarter by Dr. Sharon Cook. Brought to you by Procuresmart. Procuresmart is a boutique purchasing agency specializing in renovations and new construction. We are small but mighty and can offer you very competitive rates on your project. We work with projects of all sizes and all budgets. Check out our website and reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. You can also find us on Instagram at Procuresmart or LinkedIn. Today's guest is Olga Sanchez of Trem Lighting. Olga is the founder of Trem Lighting, and we're going to talk about manufacturing in Mexico. We're also going to talk about being a woman in today's manufacturing world and how far we've come and how far we have yet to go. So stay tuned for that. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about being a purchasing agent and why I love being a purchasing agent. My husband likes to say that I'm paid to shop all day, and that's a very basic way to look at what a purchasing agent is. I like to think that a purchasing agent must know a little bit about a lot of things and must have a basic understanding of manufacturing of furniture, fixtures, and equipment that goes into a hotel, as well as technical skills such as accounting, negotiating, budget, project management, and the all-important relationship building. A purchasing agent must be able to analyze multiple factors in a supplier decision. Price, quality, and lead times must all be considered when selecting vendors. The assumption is present that the cost is always the priority focus. However, quality, delivery, and service can outweigh cost. A good buyer with substantial buying power can affect the terms of the sale and be able to impose favorable non-price terms. Purchasing agents don't attempt to take advantage of suppliers' mistakes, nor trick them to accept unfavorable terms. Agents realize that this is a global economy and never make assumptions that they know every supplier is available. You should always aim to improve your skills, never letting a year go by without learning a new practice. Purchasing relies heavily on people skills, and you must also be willing to do some soul searching and know what kind of conduct will allow you to sleep at night. A purchasing agent should be solid, trustworthy, and reliable, and you should have solid problem-solving and decision-making skills. Procuresmart buyers have these skills, and we will use all in our power to make sure that your project comes in under budget and on time. Give us a call. We would love to work with you. Now, let's talk to Miss Olga Sanchez from Trem Lighting. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
No, I'm excited.
Yes, me too.
So, you and I met when you responded to one of the podcasts that I did, or one of the posts I did on LinkedIn, correct?
Yes, correct.
And you had some very interesting things to say about the new generation of buyers and suppliers, and maybe, them not fully understanding the economies they're working in. So I thought it would be great if you joined the podcast and let's talk about that.
Absolutely. Yes, funny enough, I just finished a Zoom meeting with one of our reps in Toronto, Canada. And we were talking about exactly what we're just going to talk about right now, the new generation or interior designers and procurement, not the companies, but the project managers at procurement firms, how, to help them out from the manufacturing perspective and help them understand what is happening, with the global economy, especially what we're facing right now during the pandemic.
Right. And well, yes. So let me just break in just for a second. I want to give people a context of where you're coming from. First of all, you're manufacturing in Mexico.
Our company, Trem Lighting, is located in Tijuana, Mexico, which is just by the border with San Diego, California.
And this is your company. You started this.
Yes, I'm the founder and owner, CEO, of Trem Lighting, and we started this in 1996.
And you specialize in architectural lighting, is that right?
Yeah, yes, custom decorative architectural lighting. That's what we do best.
Okay. So now tell me, why did you start this company? Did you see something out there, a hole in the marketplace that you thought you could fill?
Absolutely. Yes. Been here in Tijuana for many, many years. Let's go back, 25 years, 30 years ago, all of the metal fabricators in Tijuana or Mexico used to do unfinished objects or unfinished items, just the metal framing. And all of this was being exported into the United States and be finished in the US side with a nutty premium, which is fair enough. So I saw that hole in the market. I thought that it would be better as fabricators and or manufacturers to have a full finished product. Not necessarily a product line, but a full finished product. And it will be better for the local economy, value added, to the product itself, and is still competitive within the industry. Right. So that's what I saw back then.
So let's talk a bit about working in that market, in the Mexico market. Do you see something different than what's happening in the U.S. market, such as the labor shortages and the raw material shortages? Are you having the same issues?
Fortunately, not.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we do not have. There is now. Let me break this out here. Right now, because of the current global condition, especially what is happening with Asia, Mexico has been receiving, the benefit of what is happening in Asia. So right now, everybody is looking into Mexico right now for fabrication of all sorts of goods. My company being one of those, goods. What we have right now, it is the raw materials are locally sourced. When I mean locally sourced, they've been either Mexico or the United States. That is it's not coming from overseas, and they're coming from Asia. So that is one advantage. Although Mexico didn't supply, the benefits that the U.S. government helped to assist during the pandemic to the labor force, to the workforce, Mexico didn't. However, we never had that issue of labor shortage. Right now, we have enough supply of, I would say, of labor or people working in general. And Tijuana is a very thriving city, so there's always work. So it's nothing new to us. The people coming from southern Mexico to work in Tijuana. And they have qualified, they're qualified workers, but we don't have that problem, so it's good. We also need to train them, obviously, so that is, and to be, just to answer the question, we have not seen the labor shortage, no the shortage of raw materials, not just yet. Obviously, right. There's some types of raw materials that they're supplied only by Asia. That is going to be, obviously, we're going to struggle with the same issues as the world right now. But when it comes to my industry, we have not seen that, with the exception of two components that we're not touching right now. When it comes to LED components, for example, we're not touching those ones right now because the only source. The only origin is Asia.
Right.
Yeah. Apart from that, we are in good shape.
But you mentioned that you are not struggling with a labor shortage, but I did catch on that you were saying, that labor does need to be trained. And I think that is something that maybe we're missing in the United States. Everyone's saying, oh, we have a labor shortage because we don't have trained, skilled labor. But if you go into it thinking, I need to train them, then maybe you don't have a labor shortage.
Right. Yes. Well, you know what? I think this is it's a different perspective. It's a cultural differences. We have a lot of cultural differences, and we approach in Mexico. We approach in some sectors, obviously, in a different manner. When it comes down to my industry, or to my company, we're still very small company. So the person who comes in and it's going to be working with us and for us. It's going to be a long-term person working with us. So we need to treat them kind of like family, you know. So we need to understand very well, that person needs to understand that it's going to be working with us, for, I will say, medium to the long term. And they have to understand that. So once they become part of our team, part of our group of the company, it literally becomes more like a family.
Right. And you invest in them.
Absolutely. I mean, I strongly believe that we need to invest in our on our staff. I strongly believe that we need to mentor them in order for them to stay and learn and feel appreciated. That I strongly believe in that. I cannot, it is not me, and it's not in my nature, yes, to employ somebody because a certain skill is required. And if you're just, somebody that is executing a particular task, we need, no, it's because what we do is very customized, and the craftsmanship is dedication, what is required. So you need to have the human element.
Well, I think this is really interesting, and maybe this is a cultural thing. What you said is, listen, we expect if we hire them, they're going to stay, and we invest in them and treat them like they're going to stay. Where in the US, I think the expectation is, every job is a stepping stone, something better is always going to come along, and we don't invest in them.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that. And being so close to the border, I noticed, going back and forth across the border, I noticed our cultural differences, obviously, on a daily basis. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good, and both sides of the border. Don't get me wrong. We have also a negative side too. So.
Yeah, you're right. So what do you think that Trem, what do you think you're offering out there? I know that you had said we offer complete pieces, and you're right. When I was buying lighting on a very consistent level, all of my lighting was coming in pieces into the US, and they were being finished in the US, and then the US was marking that up. But what you're saying is, listen, don't do the markup. We will finish them for you in Mexico.
Right. Yes, exactly. That's what we do. So after so many years in this industry, obviously we learn a lot. And right now, basically what we do, it is a full finished product, full finished project. I've been fortunate and privileged enough to work with the top interior designers and procurement companies in the US and Canada, the most beautiful resorts all over the United States, Canada, and Caribbean, with full finished product, that is manufactured in Tijuana, Mexico. So that it's been interesting. And also what I discovered that we starting manufacturing, fabricating light fixtures that no company wanted to touch or do because of the engineering standpoint or the engineering intricacy and so many things that are required, especially in California.
Right.
So many different regulations and laws. That's what my team noticed, that we were getting very interesting and challenging projects to work with. But we noticed also, being in the industry, that those projects were rejected by other manufacturers because it was a headache, it was challenging, right. Or it was not financially feasible for the US because it's a different economy. But for us in Mexico, it was, good enough, we can take that. So that is what we started specializing. We started specializing in projects that nobody wanted to do.
Well, and I saw in an interview you gave, you had said your chandeliers were the wow factor in the public space. And I thought, that's great. And I looked at a bunch of pictures that you had. And I mean, the pieces that you are doing are enormous.
Yes, exactly right. Yes. We also started to see that once again, we, becoming stronger on the public spaces, because once again, the volume is going to be only 1, 2, 3 at the most massive chandeliers. Probably they're not going to be cost effective. The budget is not big enough for the end client, for the property. It's not cost effective to do it in the US. It's too far to do it in a nation that you want to do big runs. So we are kind of the perfect choice to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it has to be the wow factor. Once a project is completed, I take an image or I ask the client to send me a picture, and we always show it to our craftsmanship, blacksmithers, and the one who actually put the hard work and effort physically to make the project complete. And the first thing they said is, wow. So that's why I said it has to be the wow chandeliers, because the first expression, the first word that comes out of their mouths is wow. So even though I say the same thing, when I get there and I see it, it's impressive to see it.
Give me the name of the website.
Trem Lighting is TREM lighting.com.
So if you are in the market for some amazing, wow, public space chandeliers, go check out the website. Okay, so let's talk about some of the challenges that you run into in this new economy. It's not a new economy for you, but for designers who are coming in and have not really worked in this economy, what should they be aware of? What are some of the things that you wish designers knew before they came to you?
I wish the designers knew and understand what they're designing and the raw materials.
Uh-huh.
To understand the raw materials they want to use and to understand the origin of those raw materials. Very good. That is what I wish the designers, the new generation especially, understand. To understand finishes, to understand in general, what is it going to take to bring their project to life,
Uh-huh.
and to work hand in hand with the fabricator, the manufacturer for guidance. Because sometimes what they're requesting or they are designing, it is very nice, but engineering wise, manufacturing wise, it's not feasible, it's not cost effective. And they get really upset because they're not getting what they want.
Uh-huh.
So
well, and I think it's we have a influx of new designers. I was in a studio just recently, and over half their designers were straight out of school. And the owner explained it to me. She said, we have to keep this running group coming in because design turnover is very high. And so you always need to have new designers right out of school coming in. But that's a real challenge because there's a lot they don't know.
That's right. Yes, I have noticed that. I have noticed from the manufacturing standpoint, when I have RFQs and I looked at the information on the tier sheet or on the design concept, and it's not enough information, or the information that is there, it doesn't make any sense for where the project is going and what is going to be fabricated.
Uh-huh.
So it's I just hope, I wish that the new generation of designers actually have a better understanding and research where the origin of materials, the origin of everything is coming from, to make it more cost effective, easier for everybody to bring the project to life.
Now, do you wish, Olga, that more designers, more buyers would come out to the factories and see the process and ask questions? Or is that something you don't encourage because your factory is across the border?
Well, right now, obviously, it's a bit of a challenge, for health reasons. But I used to invite them to, come across the border and visit us. But it's always a misunderstanding sometimes, because you're located in Mexico. That means that when you're going to fabric, or you're fabricating, is going to be the Mediterranean or a rustic kind of look. And I said, well, it's not the case. We're just executing a specification in general. I did encourage my life to come and visit us, to experience the making, get involved, get to know your project, get to know the process.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we are very much out of touch of what we are buying, what we're getting. We don't know how it's being made. We just want it to be, ready and shipped out and we have no understanding on how it was made. And I would like to see that the procurement companies, the buyers, interior designers, more involved in the process, not just to see the images, but if it's possible, humanly possible, to you to have a better feel of what you're doing, of what is happening during the process, and get to know, pound some metal, paint some wood, cut some fabric, all of that.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. I'm a big believer in a buyer, a designer too, but I can only really speak from a buyer standpoint. I'm a big believer in a buyer getting into the factory, seeing the process, asking the questions. I don't think you can adequately negotiate something you do not understand.
I agree. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So let's talk a little bit about you starting this company. You obviously a woman in a manufacturing space. Typically that is male dominated, just like construction is male dominated. What kind of challenges did you face out there trying to get this off the ground?
Oh, well, it's it was right now. I'm very sick. Yeah, it was challenging. It is challenging still right now. But basically, yes, you're a woman, and they were asked, what is the engineer in charge, or was the person in charge? And if it was me, I will have those kind of guessing looks. You're going to be able to perform.
Yeah, or they'll come in and they'll ask you, "Can I speak to your boss?"
That's right. Oh yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, many times. Can I speak to your boss? Can I speak to the person in charge? Can I speak to your husband? Can I speak to whoever? But it's that's one of the challenges that I face. But right now, I think we have to be smart enough and let we need to put our ego, on a cupboard, on the drawer, and actually be very smart and understand what they're trying to say. And I understood, but basically they wanted to have somebody trustworthy. They were looking for obviously capacity, technical data. But I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I said, you know what, you were asking the wrong question. And I'm hopeful there was still there still is. But yes, those were the challenges that I face, in being a woman on the industry.
Well, and you know what? I don't think that has anything to do with Mexico or the US. I think that's just a woman working in the industry today.
Yes, in general, but right now, I think at this point in my life, I just basically disregard all those kind of comments. Probably 20 years ago, right. I had a chip on my shoulder, and probably here, a tear, here and there, and my ego kind of bruised, but not anymore. I just, let it go.
It's nice when you can just be like, I'm not even going to worry about that right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even worry. And when I hear a comment like that, I just always, ask them back, and I say, can you rephrase your question, please?
Right. Nice.
So and it always works, so and it's basically just to reassure everybody that everything is fine, and we are just as capable, if not more capable,
right,
of handling stress, manage family, your own company, whatever we have on our plate. I think we're very good at multitasking.
I agree. Now, so let's talk about family a little bit. What do you like to do on your downtime now that you're running this company and it's going very well? When you do get some downtime, what do you like to do?
I like to go, and actually I would say fishing, but actually I like to be on the boat and get the fish, the fishermen to bring the fish to me.
That's awesome. I love being on a boat.
Yeah, I like to be on a boat. Yes, I like to be on a boat, and I've been fortunate enough to be on a boat, and I'm going soon on another boat. So on a boat ride and be on the water. I like to be on the water. I like to be outdoors. I like to hike and, walk on the beach or walk anywhere, but with nature by my side.
That's awesome.
That's
Okay, well, tell people what's the best way to reach you? How would you like them to get in contact with you?
They can reach me via email, which is my email address is Olga, OLGA, at tremlighting.com. You can visit our website, which is tremlighting.com. And you can find us in social media, by, I think, Trem Lighting 2, in Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, I think in everywhere.
That's me. You can
Facebook.
find me anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah, you can find,
Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I think our listeners are really going to enjoy your perspective.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I will talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Olga Sanchez from Trem Lighting. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast, if you have something interesting going on in your company or a different perspective, we would love to have you. Reach out to us. You can connect with us on your own time. It's about 20-minute commitment, only audio, no video. Reach out to our website at www.procuresmartco.com and schedule your time to be on the show. Thank you guys for listening today. Join us next week as we have a special guest, Nicole Davison, who is a negotiation advisor and a business peacekeeper out of Australia.